I'm going to be creating a better space, a space that gives people space so that they can apply what they're learning, apply what they're hearing, spend time applying it because they're given that space to do so.
Mentoring with Geraldine is a bite-sized practitioner podcast for naturopaths, nutritionists, herbalists, coaches, and practitioners. This podcast responds directly to the needs of you, the practicing natural therapist. We have interviews during the holiday season and business and mindset support each week, so you'll get the variety you need to enjoy and stay motivated in your practice. Don't forget to subscribe to receive the weekly episodes. And if you want to connect with me, always check the show notes because that's where you'll find the links to book appointments and, of course, to join the Academy, the membership group where there's constant connection and community with like-minded practitioners. Now, let's get started.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Mentoring with Geraldine and the Bite Size Podcast. How the devil are you? So, I went on that walk in Belair National Park as I said I would, and I've made some decisions about the changes that I'm making to the podcast, but they're massive improvements, okay? I think you're going to like them, and I think they're going to support you in a real way rather than just listening to me chat and thinking, oh, they're good ideas. Oh, that sounds good. I think, my thinking space has created what I think will be a real change so that you don't just get more content, but you get more working space. So you've probably heard me mention the Strategy Lab. So we had the Academy before, and it's now the Strategy Lab. So the Strategy Lab has loads of my content from over the years in it, and it's in a structured sequence. You can dip in wherever you like. There's coaching in there. There's all sorts of information in there, marketing, all sorts of things in there, right? So what I noticed on the holidays, like on this, the break, we've had Easter break and I did lots of walking. That space changed how I was thinking about what I was delivering to you, about the podcast. So as I've said, the Monday group, that's once a fortnight, was twice a month. So it's mostly once a fortnight. Easter always messes things up because there's the Monday there that we miss out on, and that's right at the beginning of the month. So there's a little bit of changes, but then pretty much it's the first and third Monday lunchtime of the month. And when I'm doing that, and when I'm in there talking with people, and when I think, well, there's the Strategy Lab, how can I still support people in the Strategy Lab? It's the Academy. What can I give them that supports them without me overloading them with more work? Because that's just, isn't it? We need life outside work, and yet we need support, but time to do things. I used to do challenges pre-COVID. There were lots of challenges. People loved them. They did something every day for, however many days, for a month, 14 days, whatever it was. They should do something every day. And they did those things every day. They weren't big things. I think the challenges were actually, and I'm not really sure, but they weren't big things. They were like, go into Google My Business, open your Google My Business, post on Google My Business. The next day, go into your Facebook page, fix up the header. The next day, post in your Facebook page. These sorts of things, right? And so they were work. Each of them was like hours worth of work to create those things. And weirdly, we have less and less time all the time. As technology gets better and better, we end up having less and less time. We're always, how can I get more time? How can I make things work for me? I've started using Claude Cowork to do lots of things for me. That's working out pretty well. But we all do different things, and we have to take things step by step so that things can become clearer. Sometimes you need that one-to-one support for things to become clearer, to be able to nut it out and set out what you're doing one-to-one. But sometimes when we step away, things become clearer. Right? So I've had my break. The noise has been cut out when I had my little break. just here in South Australia. I'm just walking in Blair National Park, been down to the beach, walked along the coastline. And what's the difference? The difference is I haven't had constant input of things. I haven't had people, wanting appointments. I haven't had people wanting to see me because they've been on a break as well. I haven't been doing any courses. I haven't been producing anything, but I have spent a lot of time reflecting and integrating and working on how can I make this work for everybody else. That's what you want to do with your business. How can I make my business work for the people who come to see me, right? And I'm the same. And so my business now is supporting people. My business now is mentoring people. There's going to be, at some point, me retiring. And I need to segue into that slowly, the way I want to do it. I want to do everything on my terms. And so how can I support you? How can you still learn a lot, but not feel pressured? Like, I don't want to pressure you, and I don't want to feel the pressure of what I was doing in 2018 and 2019. I don't want to put that pressure on people. So this is where the big change is. I'm going to fortnightly episodes, and I'm going to create space between episodes so that you can actually implement. Okay, I'm going to create a workbook for each and every podcast episode. They're going to be housed within the Strategy Lab. There is going to be a conversation. That means that within the Strategy Lab, twice a month, there will be a podcast conversation in there. There will be the public-facing podcast, and then there will also be the workbook-facing podcast in the Strategy Lab. Okay, so that people get that time, they get support. They feel that in actual fact, this is going to work for them because they've got other people doing it. They can comment on it within the Strategy Lab. All right. When you join the Strategy Lab, you get a one-to-one with me so we can go through things together. So the Strategy Lab is going to give you that space to think, that space to reflect, and that space to apply your learnings alongside the podcast. So there will still be the public-facing podcast, but then it will segue into the Strategy Lab podcast along with the workbook that goes with it. Because at the moment, there are workbooks with some podcasts, aren't there? I do them occasionally, and they go just onto the public-facing, onto my page, geraldineheadley.com. Scroll down, you find the podcast uploads that are there, the workbooks from previous conversations, and they'll remain. They're not going anywhere, but I'm not going to add to them in that space. I'm going to be creating a better space, a space that gives people space so that they can apply what they're learning, apply what they're hearing, spend time applying it because they're given that space to do so. Because it means that, Geraldine's dropped another podcast episode. That means, because if you're following me, then you get a notification that I've dropped a podcast episode. That also means that within Strategy Lab, there has been a podcast and a workbook dropped. That means that within Strategy Lab, there's been a follow-up podcast and workbook dropped because I will be here with you, public-facing fortnightly, and I will also be in the private group fortnightly delivering education and it'll be recorded because that means that it can be done at somebody's own pace. They can listen to the podcast and go, oh yeah, I'm looking forward to going and doing that work within Strategy Lab. All right. So, the public facing will actually be in there anyway, but because it would be illogical not to, Captain. But it just means that there is that greater focus for those people inside Strategy Lab, and it becomes a strategy for them so that they get the support they need in a really cheap way. The link to Strategy Lab is in the show notes. Click on it, go and have a look. And it means that support is there. It's really there. It's not me just talking to you and then occasionally doing a workbook. It's not you going, where can I get this information? Because you're already in Strategy Lab. So you're like, oh, there's the information. I can just go and get it from there. Geraldine's got a workbook on that. We're concentrating on that thing this month. We're concentrating on communication, on coaching our client this month. We're concentrating on whatever it is this month, where to find that information this month. There will be a month for pediatric as well. So that will be in there. because there's the pediatric course, of course. But it does mean that there's those updates for people in the strategy lab as well around pediatrics, around supporting children in practice and coaching the child and things like that. So they'll be month by month and they'll be themed so that everybody knows what they are, everybody knows what the workbook will be, and then you'll have access to all of it. It doesn't go away. It's all there ready to go for you when you start. So that is the change that's going to happen. I'm really excited about it. I'm really excited about you actually having this opportunity to be able to do the work and have that space and that time to, reflect on what I've talked about, but be able to apply it as well. Because my workbooks aren't you sitting there, well, some of them are, obviously, you're answering a question, you're figuring out, what your elevator pitch is or what your ideal client is. That does involve you writing things down. But sometimes those activities are going to be, I want you to go to your website. I want you to go and look at this and do this. And I want you to blah, blah, blah. So you're actually doing it and applying it as you're listening to me, rather than me just talking to you on the podcast. Have you been to your website lately? Have you looked at it from somebody else's device? It means you can sit down in Strategy Lab and, put it on. Oh yeah, here's my website. I'm going to my website on maybe DuckDuckGo or something rather than one of the main sites, so that it's a clean level space without me having to find someone else's piece of kit. And off I go and do the things that Geraldine is saying, so that they're activities and you have time to apply them. You have time to reflect on them. There's going to be more, and I'm going to be sharing more. I'm here to share with you. I'm here to help you. I'm here to support you. The Monday group happens alternate weeks as well. So we've got that fortnightly. That means that I can drop content into the strategy lab for them as well, for the people in the Monday group. It means that I'm really going to be there to support you even more than I am now. And I'm really excited. It's going to happen from May. So next week, there's going to be the last of the weekly podcasts next week that will come out. And then in May, we're moving to fortnightly. So there'll be 2 a month. There'll be the extra content that goes with it. I'm super, super excited. I'll tell you more about it next week when we go over how I've done it and what I'm doing. So I look forward to it. I look forward to catching up with you then. Have a good one. Look after yourself and really stop and think. Breathe the air. Put your feet in the grass. Ground yourself. Spend some time grounding yourself. I think we all need that right now. I'm enjoying the bush and my walks, and I'm feeling really grounded right now. And I'm hoping that you can find some grounding for yourself as well right now. So I'll catch up with you next week. I look forward to catching up with you then. All the best and see you soon.
Thanks so much for joining me today. Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe to the podcast for the weekly episodes. If you'd like even more support and learning, then the Academy is for you. Here you'll find part 2 of the herbal discussions, more clinical learning, and case studies to support your clients in practice. Bye for now.